moving on. Tonight, it's round 2 with Michael Jordan, the city administrator for Portland. Last night, he told us about the serious money challenges facing the city. Tonight, we're going to look at internal changes and how things are improving. In case you've not been following along, the city changed its structure on July 1st. There's now a city administrator running Portland. They are appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council. But instead of elected politicians running various bureaus and not having to cooperate with each other, now it's Michael Jordan running the show with the help of several deputy administrators and bureau directors. The politicians are kept off to the side. I asked him, how's that going?
I would say better than expected. As if we knew exactly what to expect. Maybe we didn't, but I think I'm already, like every week, I'm in meetings with folks, and you literally are seeing the lights come on about, in a new organization, how we can collaborate differently, and people actually literally saying, we can do that. And
instead of that's just, not our department, we don't handle that.
We can't possibly do that. You know, things like sharing of staff, things like pulling people together on a project really quickly and quicker turnover and quicker response times. And the deputies are the ones that are making that happen, and they're collaborating with each other for the different service areas, if you recall. And so I'm seeing glimmers of what you would hope the city would be like in the next year or 2 or 3. So people are adjusting as humans do. They're highly adaptable, and you change the situation and their behavior changes pretty quickly. And don't get me wrong, there are still plenty of challenges that will take, like I said, years for us to work out. Culture doesn't change overnight, but I'm encouraged by the progress so far.
You don't find that there's a block that's fighting you?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely there is.
A block is probably too strong a word, but there's certainly isolated patches of parts of the organization where
they don't want to.
Let's just say they need to be reminded that there's somebody who can call the ball now and says this is the way it's going to be. And I realize that in the old days you may have been able to just disappear and not conform to what we need done, and just wait it out. And in the old days, when there were commissioners in charge, and you didn't report to the other commissioner, and so why did you have to do that? And guess what? Now everybody reports to one person, and the person says we're going to get this done and figure out a way to do it. And again, behavior takes time, and people have been doing it a certain way for a long time. But I'm again really encouraged by how the organization is responding.
And in case you didn't get it earlier, that one person that can call the ball, that's him. Jordan says the cooperation within city government has now led to creative solutions that are happening in our neighborhoods all around Portland.
We now have a program, you may have heard of it, that actually holds problem solver meetings across the city. Every 2 weeks we hold 14, I want to say, meetings across the city. It's 12 or 14, I can't remember exactly. But this group is called PMO, and I believe that's the Physical and Environmental Management Office. I think that's what it's called. I may be wrong there. But they really are bringing to bear the power of a really large organization to, in real time, solve problems in neighborhoods. And we're not talking about rebuilding a street. We're talking about graffiti on road signs. We're talking about garbage along a roadway. We're talking about a houseless camp that needs to be taken care of, about derelict RVs along a street. And I'm not here to say that it's perfect in every case, but that program now has the ability, because it is run out of the executive office. It was formerly run out of the mayor's office, but now it reports to me as the administrator. And if we're having challenges with getting 1, 2, 3 or more bureaus engaged in solving a particular problem, there's somebody who can make that happen now very quickly. And so our ability to be responsive I think is enhanced by having not only that group of folks who are out in neighborhood literally every week, all week, interfacing with community, but on the backside of that, we have an ability now to bring the organization to bear on the problem, I think much more expeditiously.
And that's all happening because the city's structure has changed. While we're talking about smart solutions, here's another one. The city is now taking a hard look at all the vehicles it owns to see if it can save some money by getting rid of some of them.
We're actually going through one of the, I will say, cut concepts that's come out of the city motor pool, the vehicle folks, is to do a much more in-depth examination of all the vehicles at the city. You are absolutely correct that some bureaus do a wonderful job monitoring their vehicles, some not so much. And what we're finding is that there's at least a substantial number of vehicles that aren't being used as much as they could, and perhaps shouldn't even be in the fleet anymore. And so managing the size of the fleet and also managing how that fleet is taken care of so we don't go beyond maintenance protocols, and make sure that not only are the vehicles operational and safe, but also making sure our fleet is optimized and not bigger than it has to be. So we are looking at all those things.
All right, so we've heard that the city is starting to function better. People are cooperating and also being held accountable if they don't want to change their ways. But there are still challenges looming in this new system. For example, it's a little wonky here, but it's important. The city has a lot of rules which are called codes that say how things should be done. That was because you had politicians running these huge departments, and it was clear over time they needed a lot of rules. But now they won't be in control, and the mayor and the city administrator will be instead. But that will also create some gray areas, some fuzzy lines between the mayor's authority and the city councilor's authority.
And so now, because the executive mayor, within the constraint of the budget, really has the ability to say, we're not going to do that way anymore, we're going to do it this way. And the administrator can carry that out. So we are literally removing lots of things from code and putting them in administrative rule that only the mayor will have the authority to change administrative rule, and the administrator. And so where's the edge of the authority for the executive and the legislative body? And what if the legislative body doesn't like the way the mayor is doing things? And how would they voice that? In what way would they do that? And what's that interface? And can a new mayor who maybe cares about a different way to do sheltering than what we have been doing, do they have the authority to just change all of that?
Just wave a magic wand and say not anymore?
Exactly. And so where are the edges of that authority? And I think I mentioned this too.
How do you work that out?
Well, I think I mentioned before that in our previous discussions that I think the most important aspect of this new government and new way of governing is that the mayor and council work together as much as possible. That they're overly communicative with each other about what they want to accomplish, how they think they want to get there. Even if the mayor has the authority to do it all by themselves, they don't have to ask council. They should still be consulting with council and talking with them about where they want to go and how are they going to get there. It's the other reason I think I mentioned to you before that I think a strategic planning effort co-sponsored by the legislative and executive branch would be one of the best things they could do together.
Okay, I know that's a lot of information, but I wanted to bring it to you to show you that some parts of the city are getting better and working better together, and there are still likely some power struggles ahead. Have any thoughts on what you've heard? Do you have faith in the systems that Jordan is outlining for us, or are you concerned about this new shift of power? Let us know what you think, will you? The email is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave us a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090. I look forward to hearing from you.